ईस्टर्न विजडम इंजीनियर साहब को म्यूट करना जरूरी है, नहीं तो वो सुनते नहीं है. मैंने कर दिया. So, so Eastern wisdom aims at realizing oneness. You see that it realizes that oneness. How to discover that ultimate cause of suffering? Not only the material world, but also the living world around us. How to discover the ultimate cause. So we are just focused in Saturday's session what exactly is the ultimate cause of everything. And we translate even the words like devotion, worship, prayer, meditation, with reference to the knowledge and understanding. That is the highest journey in the Eastern wisdom. So when we say how to discover, because the mind is subjected to or overburdened by the objective reality outside. Mind needs to change to know how to discover that subjective reality which is real self. That is what this master says. Self alone, self knowledge alone can give us that. Who gives the self knowledge now? The goal of the Eastern wisdom is self knowledge, but who gives the self knowledge? The text of the Eastern wisdom through the teacher who explains each aspect of ignorance, delusion, and knowledge. So sometime what happens, I was just talking to the Ashok, we carry forward lot of delusion into it, so we start worshipping even the books. We start worshipping the books as if I worship, if I say namaste to the book, knowledge will automatically come to me and then I'll be realized, I'll be awakened. We have to get rid of it. So in context of this text, what it says, the worship, prayer, and the devotion are used in context of knowledge. Even in expression, teacher, seeker says it is knowledge. So via teacher. Why via teacher? Because teacher is alive and the book and the knowledge, they are inert material. It has to be made alive. But then it is our ego and the delusion or ignorance that is present, then it becomes difficult to receive the knowledge. You see? Jerry, this is also a part of the, I'm just explaining Mangalacharan in a different way. What is one aspect of the knowledge from the Eastern wisdom that helps every day, every moment is Mangalacharan. So it starts with the Mangalacharan in the mantra. So you see that in all yoga studios and wherever Eastern wisdom is taught, it is Mangalacharan directly or indirectly. It starts, you absorb the knowledge, you live into the knowledge, it never ends until we live. Why? It causes a kind of remembrance, non-verbal awareness. Why Mangalacharan? It is the first information. Second, it is by the reflection that knowledge, information translates into knowledge. Third, by the practice of meditation, it is recognition and realization. Fourth, what? That then you think, speak, and act in that knowledge. Why? Why? Ignorance is gone. You are settled in self-knowledge. Do you know where your house is located? Yes. I'm settled in the knowledge of my house, where it is located, how to travel there. Do you need to think of it? No. Same way you think of the self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is settled. Is settled. There are many ways we explain, but here, as we understand that each master refers, they don't use the word Mangalacharan, but all our great masters uses the beginning of their book, beginning of their text as Mangalacharan. So now we have reached to a point where is the Mangalacharan by this master in his text. The first verse is Mangalacharan. Now just I'm literally translating, then you have to go into the deeper layer. Salutation to Sri Shankarananda, this master who has written the text, whose teacher is Shankarananda. So he is saying salutations to my teacher, my guru, to his lotus feet. To his lotus feet means the head bows down to the why head? Head contains the ego. Symbolic expression. If I continue to allow my head to touch the feet of a master, and he has just traveled from the woods, and his feet is full of virus and bacteria, it will be a problem. So it's not physical. It's more a mental, emotional recognition. Teacher in the form of a knowledge is alive. I have to pay attention. Physical aspect is also there, yes. But if you stick to the physical aspect, you are creating a problem. To whom? To yourself and also through the teacher. This is what the purpose of his birth. Now you see the highest level of Mangalacharan. What he says in the first verse, the purpose of his birth, master's birth, is the removal of ignorance in me. I think, I reflect on it. How? How? Because this is what the devotion is. This is what the prayer is. I keep in mind, I remember, I reflect that my teacher's goal, purpose, or my purpose of meeting the teacher is to just removal of the ignorance. The perfect Mangalacharan. Now he goes a step further. He says, what is this Mangalacharan like? No, it is like a monster. It is like a monster. And the teacher means through the knowledge is capable of removing that ignorance in my life so that I can continue to live in permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. It is the beginning verse I have reached today to explain you. Namah Shri Shankarananda. Salutations to the teacher, to the lotus feet of the Guru. Seeker recognizes how important the journey of the self-discovery, so there should be no distraction. That is the part of the devotion. The great delusion with all its manifestations can be removed. That is the purpose of the teacher in this journey. There is no other purpose in the journey. So what is the real self? The master says the real self is Sat Chitananda. Sat is the existence, consciousness is the Chit, aspect, and Ananda, the permanent happiness. The real self is of the nature of absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. Geometry theorem. I have to prove by process. I have to prove by process. We'll continue that practice of Mangalacharan. Today I thought that to explain you, but coming week we will use this first verse for contemplation and reflection and for Mangalacharan. Come back to the main subject. He has explained the waking state, dream state, sleep state. Can the dream food meet my hunger? No. The can my waking state, I have a home in the waking state, can help me in my dream searching for a home? Answer is no. But still, the waking dream and the deep state, behind that, there is a consciousness. That consciousness we are trying to understand and recognize. That is what the self-knowledge is. But why we can't see it? So again, you have to remember again and again why we can't see it. First thing, that do I see the real self? You see how the mind works. Do I see the real self? No, I don't see it. So it means I don't know. You see, I don't know. But I exist. So I am the body, mind, instantly the ignorance and the projection takes place. And that ignorance creates a delusion, likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment, duality and a conflict, and we continue our journey throughout our life in that ignorance. So what is the cause we have understood? The cause of that, do you remember? The internal noise. The internal noise is there with reference to delusion. You know, delusion lives in the mind. I can perceive it outside. I see the water in the mirage. I see. The mind perceives. Pay attention. Mind perceives. If the mind does not perceive the mirage water, there is no delusion at all. So that delusion lives in the mind, but there is something happened outside also. Well, the sunlight in the sand. Their interaction created a idea that water is there. The something also happens outside and something is happening in me. What is something happening outside is the world outside. Then what is the nature of the world? Now see that. What is the world? What is the nature of the world? So I see, for example, I see the snake in the rope at dusk or at dawn. So I have a memory of the snake before, and I know the memory of the snake is threatening to my life. Then I see it. I had a memory of the water before, then I see the water in the mirage. I have a blueness of the sky. Let me give another example and understand this part is very important. I'm asking you, when did you start not knowing Spanish language? I'm repeating it. When did you start not knowing Spanish language? If you have never learned it, there is no starting point to our lack of knowledge. So our master says, by this logic, ignorance is beginningless. It has no beginning, but it comes to an end. By knowledge, it comes to an end. I gave one example where I said, when did you start not knowing Spanish? What the heck you are asking me? I never learnt it. It's a beginningless. That ignorance, that delusion is beginningless. Information about snake and the water comes later. Now it is with reference to the world. That world is known as the Prakriti. Prakriti. Now we are going little deeper. It is known as the Prakriti, or you simply say the world. What is the world? So we perceive the entire world as a constant interaction of time, space, and the object. We move to the subtle layer of the perception of the world. Oh, what is this word? I'm giving a lesson. You are all are listening. You see, time, space, object. Marriage celebration, these three factors. Divorce, three factors. Fighting, three factors. Seeking pleasure, three factors. Eating, three factors. Time, space, and object. How do we perceive? We perceive by my honey, my attachment, my pasta. Do you see that? We perceive at a very surface level. My body, my mind, my money. So first you see the word is an interaction of time, space. Space means location, occasion, event, and I'm making it very simple. I'm simplifying it. Then we will go into the deeper aspects. So time, space, and the object also includes the people. Oh, let us have a session at 8 a.m. So you see time, a.m. The moment there is a time, there is a space. There is a space, there is a time. There is an object, there is a time in the space. Reflect on it. Object. Oh, here you are. Here you are. When you were born, how old are you? Time. And also, where are you sitting? That particular space. That is the world. That is the nature of the world. Nothing in the world. The world is not to be, can I say that? We normally, master teaches at a higher level. There is no love attachment. There is nothing into it. It is all because of the time, space, and object. But then I have a lot of attachments also, delusion also. So I told you there is a consistently changing nature of the world where we recognize the time, space, object, and their interaction is caused by the three gunas: Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Satoguna. That is the word. There is nothing more than that. You cheated me, I don't want to talk to you, Tamoguna. Person is the same. Oh, let us work together in a business project, Rajoguna. We are good friends. We will continue to be good friends, Satoguna. That is the word. What else is there in the world? Tell me. Master is going further. Now he wants to explain that how that delusion takes place, what exactly is the role of the world outside. So before understanding, we should know what is this world outside. You just tell me if it is wrong or right. He is a good friend of mine. She is not. My parents were good or not. I had lot of money or not. You just see that. See. Lot of money, rajasic activity. I hate you, tamasic guna. But if there is no other, how can you hate anyone? So other means the word, idam. So we simply, one word. The moment you understand and you absorb, the knowledge is settled. What happens? You say idam. Idam means others, this word, this person, and I am. So the interaction of this I am with. Going little deeper, once you understand this, master, and the entire journey of Indian, of this yoga philosophy or tantra or mantra, whatever you say, they carry forward the same principle. They say prakriti, they say the world, they say jagat, different names. So we are first level that, do you see the interaction in the world? There is a constant, consistent interaction is going on. So what is that? How to understand it? So there is a time, there is a space or a location, and there is an object or a person. You are playing with your smartphone, object. You are listening to me, a person. But how that movement is affected, that movement, that change is affected by three gunas. We are putting logic. If you have any problem, you can interrupt me. What a beautiful way they have done. So the tamoguna, rajoguna, the moment you have the name world anywhere at your home, whether you are in a restroom or in a bedroom, whether you are watching TV, whether you are talking to a friend, world, tamoguna, rajoguna, satoguna, interaction of these three gunas. First point, time, space, location. Second, we have gone deeper. Tamoguna, rajoguna, satoguna. When you feel sluggish, so this tamo, raju, and satoguna is also present in my body at the physical level, at the mental, emotional level, also at the intellectual level. Also at the intellectual level, you say in the intellect? Yes, I want to prove that how crazy wrong you are. Tamoguna. Do you see that? Just I want to prove that. Why? It is guided by the ego. Ego also has tamo, rajo, and satoguna. So whatever we see, experience, know, good, bad, high, low, is caused by the tamoguna, rajoguna, and satoguna. It is a dynamic, it is not static. First thing, the world is constantly changing. Science says, so we also say, yes, it is a dynamic. Prakriti is dynamic. It's a, can we say it's a dynamic force? Yes. It's a dynamic force. It's a dynamic force. Now, go slowly. Can this Prakriti or the world influence my experience? It can influence my experience, it cannot. Choice lies with me. That choice makes you a seeker. I will repeat it again and again in variety of ways. I'm giving a pause and then now I'm see. On one side you have a pure consciousness, the real self, absolute existence, consciousness, bliss, never changing, eternal, all pervading, of the nature of permanent happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. That pure consciousness. Again, I'm repeating. When that is a bit difficult, so many people leave this journey of Eastern wisdom. They say there is nothing it because their intellect cannot grasp it. Why their intellect cannot grasp it? Because they are not a fit seeker. Having said that, now I am saying, on the one side you have heard the word time, space, location. Then I move to satoguna, tamoguna, rajoguna. So we already understand that if satoguna reflects in my mind, I'm always talking, I'm always expressing in the manner of kindness, full of knowledge and love and wisdom. I'm friendly. If I'm rajoguna, then I'm very much excited. I can enter into likes and dislikes. If I'm tamoguna, then I'm criticizing you all the time. So I may have a kind nature, still I may have a tamoguna. I went to one of my friend's house, and that person spends 1.5 hours criticizing uh, the ex-friend. Why you spend? So you are kind enough. That is one part of it. So there may be a mixture of satoguna and the tamoguna also. And we take it lightly, so we cannot evolve and progress. We will take up that later. Now I'm coming to the mains. On one side there is a pure consciousness, and on the other side we have the world consists of movement, dynamic state of three gunas. Clear? Clear? So the world has a satoguna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. That is also clear. Second point. When this consciousness, pure consciousness, reflected in dominated satoguna, means you have 97% of satoguna, and consciousness is reflected. That aspect of the real self or the consciousness is known as Ishwar. It is known as the God. We are defining it. And same consciousness, when reflected in 97% of Rajo and the Tamo Guna, then we are an individual. You see, you pick up the key terms. That is another way, that is how I used to understand. Pure consciousness, eternal, all pervading, everything is clear, there is no change in it. On the other side, the word. What is that? It is made up of three gunas. We have already understood the satoguna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. Now, when the consciousness does not undergo a change, consciousness, the gold does not undergo a change. Now I'm giving you a metaphor. Gold does not undergo a change. When the same consciousness or the gold reflected in the satoguna of the prakriti, it is called Ishwar. When it is same consciousness reflected in the Rajo in the Satoguna of the world. I'm an individual. So in both the cases, the gold is still there. The gold is reflected. If I use the word Rajo in Tamoguna, means that I'm engaged in searching the peace and happiness outside. I just want to become a millionaire. I just want to marry and just divorce and to be happy. Rajo and Tamoguna. Activities is going on. And one is at the highest level, Ishvara. That in yoga we say Ishvara is known as the innermost self in all of us. Innermost self without name in the form. That is known as the innermost self. That is known as the. But why he has brought this topic, that we will understand in our later verses. A clean, clear mirror produces a perfect reflection. Satoguna is pure. Satoguna is 100% pure, say 99%. But for the movement, there must be some Rajoguna should also be there. And for the sake of stability, maybe 0.001% of Tamoguna should also be there. So that I can recognize that reflection, and that reflection is very pure. Not only that is known as the Ishvara, that is also known as the Guru, that is also known as that you are in the state of awakened. So there are two parts of it. One by the practice, long journey like the Buddha, who reached to that state, who awakened. And there is a possibility that by birth, you have that state of 99% of Satoguna. They are known as reincarnate. Just pick up these words, but don't get worried. This master is going to clarify each and every aspect. So the gold is formulated into a necklace, beautiful earring, and other ornaments. Satoguna. It is broken into different parts. It still contains the impurity, individual. Why I raise this topic? There is a multiplicity in the world outside. Ishvara is one, Satoguna, reflections in Satoguna. There is only one consciousness. I realize and recognize through my same mind. And the same mind says, how you say that all are one? Now let us open up for your reflection. Anyone who wants to take a lead. Anyone.
So Ishvara is that pure consciousness that
reflected in Satoguna.
In Sattva. Sattva?
Yeah, Satoguna.
But the tricky part is the 0.001% of the Raja and the Tamas. That's kind of the tricky part.
Tricky part is that Rajoguna helps you to move the world, reflects the pure consciousness. If Rajoguna is not there, there is no movement. So then there is no Ishvara. There is no Ishvara. And so the static aspect is also very important. Static aspect. Now you see that. Yes, first you reflect. Anyone wants to come out? or I have confused you. It's better that I confused you. So from confusion we will go to fusion. Yes, Brandy.
The thing that caught me today, if I understood you correctly, is not only from our internal sort of mind stuff and existence and behaviors and so forth, do we experience the gunas, but the world also, like the outside world, also has gunas in nature. And I guess I never really thought of it like that. I realized that I guess I recognized that there was a dynamic within me and then also kind of a dynamic in the world. And sometimes they seem to align and sometimes they seem to clash or whatever. But I never thought of it like a projection of my consciousness, like the sattvic. I don't know. I'm still working on it.
Yeah. Yes, yes, but you are reaching to there. One thing that you said that it offers a new perspective. So how to understand that new perspective? Where there is a change, there is a world. Where there is a world, there is a time, space, and object. Where there is a time, space, and object, there is satoguna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. Ask yourself, body is changing? Yes. Three gunas are there. Oh, you are changing? Yes. Three gunas are there. And now we understand the projection or reflection. Reflection. What is that reflection? There is a mirror. So mirror has a mind. In that mirror is just the mind in which the consciousness is reflected. In the state of the satoguna, you have recognized and realized the innermost self. Got it? Your mind is reflecting with the mode of, I'm using the mode, of Raju and Tamoguna. You are an individual, you have a lot of challenges, you have a problem, you are trying to solve the problem, you are continuously performing all the actions. Yes, anyone more?
So, like Krishna,
Haji.
सर कृष्णा में इनकारनेशन है वो 99% 99.9% सतोगुण है.
No, forget about that, Krishna. And so we have many reincarnations. So wherever you hear the word reincarnation, for the sake of understanding, we say they are born completely with the satoguna. That is why they are reincarnate. So you can use that word reincarnate in any religion. But I am not born with this. By practices, by following the journey, I have reached to that state. Even though the state is the same, but I have reached through a journey, and they were. But is it possible? Answer is yes, it is possible. One more point, and then you can then I will ask others to share. You see that what is hidden, little bit, I won't say complex, but it's a very interesting journey. The moment gold is there, now the gold has become necklace, earring, ring, right? Right? Where the problem comes, what is ignorance? I see it is a necklace, I don't see it is still a gold. I see the earring, I don't see it is a gold. One part. Second part, did gold undergo any change? But it appears to go a change. In the form of a necklace, it appears that the gold has changed, but the gold did not change. You heat up the necklace and again it is gold. But from where the shape of the necklace has come? You have to think from where this shape of this Girish has come. Shape of the brandy, Dennis has come. From where? Name, shape. Does the shape really exist? Shape from where? Did the shape of the necklace was present in the gold? That is why it was changed into a necklace? Ask yourself. The same way, that consciousness is the gold has taken the form of this beard guy and all of you. I'll repeat it, no worries. If you understand it's okay if you did not, but I will repeat it in a way so that by many examples. Any thought, Dennis?
I was thinking about the beginning of this delusion, very interesting to contemplate. And I think it means that the delusion exists as long as the time, space, and objects are seen as separate entities.
Yeah.
And as long as there is another separate entity that sees this time, space, and object as separate entities. And as long as separation is there, the delusion is there. When there is no separation, there is no time.
Yeah.
And hence there is no beginning,
Yes.
because the time is linked to the beginning. So the delusion begins where the time begins.
And where
So,
the mind begins.
and where the mind begins, because the mind and time are inseparable also.
Inseparable, yes.
So that is why we say that it is beginningless.
It,
And another point, as I understand it, the three gunas are also a part of the delusion, even the sattva guna.
yeah.
The difference is only in the extent of the delusion, where tamaguna is the highest extent and the sattva guna is the lowest extent of the delusion.
You are right, and you are 100% right. So what we say, the sattva dominated prakriti, sattva dominated world is known as Maya. You rightly pointed out, you have reached to that conclusion. So when the consciousness is reflected, it has created duality. The moment there is a duality, who created there is a duality, then there is a time, space, and object. Where there is a time, space, and object, so it creates a confusion. What is that confusion? Oh, necklace is different than the ring. Ring is different than the bracelet. Come on, everything is gold. I am not able to see the gold as a gold even in appearance. I am not able to see in the world consciousness is present. All the religion says God is everywhere. So we are not talking of the religion. We are trying to perceive, recognize that consciousness is present everywhere, in everything. In tamoguna, the object or the person guided, dictated by the tamoguna, you cannot see. It's a very surface like a stone, you cannot reflect it. Rajoguna, the reflection is in the water, so still you can see it. And Satoguna, the reflection is like purity. My master used to say that God is here and now. So you train your mind, you educate your mind, you remove your ignorance, and you are able to reach, to see, perceive here and now that consciousness, that gold. I'm just giving an example. That gold is still present in a necklace, earring, but I forget it. Forgetfulness, ignorance. It is always there. There is no difference at all. Why there is a difference? It is only one consciousness. So it is caused by the time, space, location, then coming to the three gunas, then their reflection in in stages. That is how the entire world, it appears as pleasing, seeking happiness there, but it is happiness is not there, and that is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. Close your eyes. That is close your eyes. Yes, we have already opened our gate to open discussion. Yes, eyes are closed. We will continue with it. Now, with that reference, today, the moment you have a duality, you are in a world, you are in delusion. Because there is only one. But so we have to work through that duality. So what the duality of the mind says in time, in space, with reference to the object. Object is the body, and I said, close your eyes. You look at it, very subtle delusion. Very, very subtle. You cannot reach to the state of the subtle understanding if your mind is not purified. Means Rajo and Tamoguna must go, or must be minimized. If that is not minimized, we cannot enter into that state. So now look at it, the same instruction, but our knowledge is subtle. Move the mind on the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. What do you perceive? Your consciousness is moving on the body, reflecting the body, without any disturbances from the Rajo and the Tamo guna. So there is a sense of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. You know, I have been using the word steadiness. I'm very careful in choosing these words to help you to understand and reflect. Oh, yes, you have been talking about the steadiness. So that steadiness is a pointer. It's a hard, that is the state of the Tamoguna. Well, maybe 1%. Rajoguna is you are listening my instructions and you are following it. Where there is a movement, there is a Rajoguna. And sensation. So it brings a sense of comfort. It makes me aware that the comfort is within. Comfort is not outside. Comfort in the body. Comfort not off the body. I have repeated, I think, hundreds of times, my friends. You see how subtle it is? Let us go deeper. So there is a duality. Means there are two. Mind receives the knowledge when there is a duality. So at present we are asking mind or intellect, you are an instrument of knowledge, so let me know through you. And then we will get rid of this mind also. So what is the principle? The seer and the seen, known and the knower. What that means? I know you. You are a known and I am the knower. They are always separate. The moment they mix up, you are in delusion. Why you mix up? Because of attachment. Now you see, you get a very insight into what you have been learning. Oh, so that is why you say in being carefree, these thoughts are separate from you. So we can perceive. So how do we see that? It is my car. My car is not me. We apply the same logic that whatever I know and experience is separate from what I am. It is not possible if the Raju and the Tamoguna are active, subconsciously, habitually, impulsively, otherwise. So we have covered the purity of the mind, that this master never talks about it. He says go directly. Go directly to the seekers. But anyhow, come back. Any thought, any feeling, any sensation that you experience, can you see that it is separate from I am? Again, I'm repeating, my friends, it is so simple, yet it is very challenging. That awareness is separate and different from what our mind experiences. Your mind says, I'm happy. Happiness, that happiness is different from I am. I'm in stress. Oh, you experience this stress, so stress is different from I am. So this master says, when you recognize that, when even if you claim I am in stress, and you recognize that stress is different and separate from you, why you have a problem? You don't have a problem. You don't have a stress. Why you do it? By attachment, by falling into ignorance. So in the beginning, we continue reflection, contemplation. Whatever I experience, now I'm coming to the main. What I am experiencing is nothing but the world, and the world outside is nothing but a reflection of the consciousness in Satoguna, and that reflection gives me the name and the shape and the form is like necklace, bracelet, ring, nosepin made up of the same gold. I am not able to see the gold. Why am I not able to see the gold? Because of ignorance, because of delusion. Why I am caught in delusion? Is the consciousness not present in the delusion? He is 100%. Why? Whatever I know, I confirm, I experience, consciousness has to be there. I may experience stress, I may experience problem, I may experience enmity, that is a different thing. But wherever I experience, I know consciousness is already, the gold is already there. Today I have seen the waves on the floor of my house. I'm not crazy. Yes, I'm crazy. I'm going for another simple principle which blows our mind. I made a statement that I saw many waves on the floor of my house. Can there be a wave without water? Answer is no. Can there be a delusion without consciousness? Oh, what you are saying? So consciousness created a delusion? No. It is my ignorance. Again, I'm saying, whatever I know cannot be separated from that consciousness in ignorance. But when the knowledge comes, it is already separate. One part. Second part. Consciousness is independent. Whatever I know, experience, good, bad, high, low, always depends on the consciousness. So it means all our name and the form, all our experiences depends on the consciousness. Consciousness, whether you have waves or you don't have the waves, water is still there. You have the necklace or bracelet made up of the gold or not, the gold will continue to exist. That existence is Satchitanand. It always exists. It defies the time, space, and the object continuum. It is not the part of the three gunas. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences, bring the hands down, and we'll share, and you can bring about the point in opposition or in favor. Let the intellect be free from the doubt. Dennis.
Deep meditation with focus on contemplation. Nothing to add. Thank you.
Good, good. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. I struggled with today's lesson. I'm going to have to listen to it again, talk to my guru, and reflect on it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Where there is a confusion, there can be a fusion. So if I reflect consistently, the problem is solved. But what I said in the last, can I have the waves all the time on the floor of my house? No. The name and the form cannot exist without water in the case of the waves. Water in the case of the waves, necklace, earring in case of the gold, and all the different names and the forms here in this session because of the same one consciousness. Do you see? But one more thing before the Jerry will speak. What you have brought, this Prakriti and the nature and the world and time, they are simply models. Use the model. Reach there, throw them into the garbage. Are you getting it? We have been doing this. We have been doing this in science, in physics, in chemistry, biology, even in mathematics. We have a model. We have a model to predict the share market. Tariff in the share market. David is laughing. Yes, I don't do any trading, but David is fully aware. He's a business guy. You see that. You have to understand that part. This is just a model. We are using the model to reach there. Once you reach there, finish. Throw them out. Yes, Jerry.
Thank you, sir. The meditation was deep. I think for me, it summed it up how clearly that we see, experience, know people, places, time. We're really clear on that. We know we experience all these things, and we only do because we're conscious.
Yeah.
And so if we can start to remind our mind first what consciousness is, what I am, and what everybody is, then we won't have any problems or suffering or anything. So if we can just marry that and really see that first and foremost always, then it changes our lives.
So beautifully said. And that is why our master says, never forget the Mangala Charan. Every day in the morning, you start reminding the mind. It reminds you that there is only one reality. And then the time comes, mind is reminded. When the mind is reminded by the consciousness, that is the awakened state. You don't see the duality. When you are reminding the mind, you are still a seeker. How are you, Brandy? I was joking to Brandy that Brandy has putting that dress, it looks like the monks wear those dresses. So at least I converted one person into a monk. Yes, Brandy.
I'm not a monk. I have a lot to think about on this one. It was helpful in the kind of the halfway reflection to hear Dennis say that even the gunas are a delusion, because I think that's that connection that was maybe missing for me with understanding sort of how to categorize or measure, or whatever you want to say internally, but also externally, like that where those things meet or where they're perceived to be separate. At the end of the day is the delusion. So I don't know, got some things to think about, but I appreciate everybody's reflection.
You see that what I think I become. It's a saying of the Gita, one of the great texts. What I think I become. What I think is based on the perception, and it's a combination of the three gunas with reference to the time, place, and object. And the problem is solved. The confusion is gone. That is
Maybe I am a monk.
Yes, in the beginning that I am the mantra, and the mantra is fused with the consciousness. Mantra is just a small wave in the eternal consciousness. Yes, we can say that, and still we change. But I recognize that person is the problem. I don't see my perception is the problem. Do you see that? I'm just using a typical word. How are you, Terry?
I'm good. It was delightful,
Yes, good.
no wordless. My, I tried to hear you in the present. So no memory,
Good.
no words.
You see that? You just imagine how many waves Ashok, Dennis, Brandy, Terry, David, Jerry, and me. They all are the waves beneath. Can there be an existence of the waves without water? And that is why I gave an example. I see a lot of waves on the floor of my house. Water is not there. You are crazy. Simple, you are crazy. So it means all the bodies that we perceive at the first level is nothing but the waves. Behind it, it is consciousness. But then the mind creates an individuality. I am gender, relationship. No, no, no. How can I be you? You know, you have long beard and I don't have it. You know, I have a clean shape. You know, these differences. So these are the multiplication of Rajasic and Tamoguna. And the ignorance continues. We are using a model to recognize. Again, I'm saying very clear. Because, you know, if I continue to, if I have worn those monk clothes, I belong to a particular order of the monkhood, then I will never say this that these are the models, unless you reach to a higher stage. But I have a liberty. The monks do not have that liberty unless, no, no, you have to follow that tradition. So that is why, you know, we feel very to approach any any monk. People are ready to approach me also. It's not a big deal. How are you, Ashok?
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Sir, thank you so much. Nothing to ask. Thank you.
Nothing to ask. Good. So please, just go through it. David, you just compare, you know, waves. It depends on the water. The water is independent. Water does not depend. The gold is independent. It does not depend on what kind of jewelries you put on. No, not at all. And from there you compare. How come it appears, the gold appears as a necklace? Satoguna, reflected, consciousness reflected in the satoguna of the nature, so you have the gold jewelry. Even you are as a David because of this. I'm Girish as because of this. That is the beauty. That is all. Thank you. We'll meet again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.